What's going on, veterans? Welcome to New Life Veterans TV. And in this episode, you're going to learn so much about failure, okay? And the reason why I want to talk about failure is that failure is going to teach you how to succeed. My name is Junius Bennett. I am 100% Navy, Desert Storm, permanent total disabled veteran. And the reason why I'm coming to you about failure is because a lot of times people get negative connotations when it comes to failure. People don't like to fail. They don't like to fail tests. They don't like to fail job opportunities. Nobody wants to fail. But I got a hint. I got a little secret about success. Failure teaches you what you did wrong. And it teaches you also what you need to do right. And you can learn from your failure. See, I failed a lot along the way. I've been on this planet 48 years. And I failed a lot of times. I could have looked at my homelessness as failure. I could have looked at me not having a car or a place to live as failure. I could have looked at going on a Greyhound bus with only $20 coming to Atlanta as a failure. That's not the case today. That's not how my life is today. That's not my lifestyle today. But if I would have stayed in that failure mode, I would have never tried again. I would have never picked myself up. I would have never made the claim for disability compensation, right? So I want you to understand there's two ingredients when it comes to success. The ingredients of opportunity has to be there. Veteran that you are watching, this lady veteran that's watching right now, this male veteran that's watching this video right now you've been failing with disability claims. You've had this denial and this denial. You wonder, well, should you go through this headache again? You probably saying, I've given up. I've heard this guy Junius Bennett online. I've heard a lot about him. He kind of flashy and all that. I don't believe a word he says. But ladies and gentlemen, this is about you and your family, and you have a duty and obligation to get what you and your family deserve when it comes to medical compensation and medical help. So I want you to understand that there's a lot of veterans right now has given up on the VA when it comes to disability compensation. There's a lot of veterans right now that has died and went on to wherever they went to, heaven or hell, whatever you want to call it, without getting them service connected or their families paid, being dependents of a service-connected veteran. So I hope that's not you. I hope you haven't given up the fight, because success is all about opportunity and one other ingredient. So let's write this down. If you take a pen and a piece of paper, opportunity. Opportunity is one of the best words I could ever imagine on the planet today. Opportunity. As long as there's opportunity, there's hope for Junius Bennett, my friends. There's hope for you that's watching this video. As long as there's opportunity, there's hope for you to change your life. There's hope for you to make a better life for your family. There's hope for you to travel the world. There's hope for you to write the book. There's hope for you to do a lot of things. As long as there's opportunity, veterans. What is the opportunity here at VA compensation? 70 to 100%. Say it with me, 70 to 100%. You know it here, this is tax-free income. That's the opportunity, tax-free, I call it smart money. The opportunity here, ladies and gentlemen, is having smart money an unfair advantage than the average American that's waking up in the morning every single day working for taxed income. This is untaxed income, and it's passive. The opportunity of passive income is going to change your life. Well, everybody is going down the road at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, getting on the interstate, going to that cubicle. Passive income of 70 and 100% can change that for you. That's the opportunity. But the opportunity alone is not the main ingredient. It has to be accompanied by a friend called preparedness. Preparedness. How prepared are you to go to war for you and your family? That's my question for you today. How prepared are you to go to war for you and your family? You're prepared to go to war when you were 17, leaving home, 18 years old, or whenever you enlisted, or being an officer of the greatest country in the world. You were proud wearing a uniform. You had opportunity to get educated. You had opportunity to travel. You had opportunity for upward mobility. You had opportunity for a career change. You had to get prepared, right? You had to go to officer school. You had to go to enlisted school, boot camp. You had to go to A school if you was in the Navy, aviation school. All the type of preparedness it took for you to be a soldier, a sailor. Come on now. There's preparedness. You cannot have opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get prepared. So today I'm going to tell you about New Life Veterans because New Life Veterans' sole function is to get you prepared. That's our whole purpose, to get you prepared, because there's a lot of opportunity for you and your family. All of you that have filed before, this is the best video you can watch. If you have filed before, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that decision that you got. That decision from the VA, that decision letter, that decision narrative that came in the form of a letter format, maybe 6 pages, 7 pages, 8 pages, 9 pages. If you got your decision letter in your hand, great. If you don't, go find your decision letter. I'm going to tell you the format of that decision narrative that they wrote to you, personalized with your name. See, I was homeless and I got my decision letter at room 154. I didn't have an apartment 154. I didn't have a home 154, this address. I had a room. See, I didn't give up the fight. I had failed in my life and I'm suffering with PTSD. I'm suffering from mental loss. Memory loss. I'm suffering from unemployment. I'm suffering from being angry. I'm suffering from being irritable. But I didn't give up because I knew that there was opportunity. And if you know that there's opportunity out there, it's time to get prepared. See, in your decision letter, the first thing they're going to do is give you an introduction. They're going to say Gulf War veteran served from 1991 to 1995. He submitted a claim on this particular date. That's the first line of a decision narrative in your decision letter. Now, the second thing they're going to talk about is the decision. Whether they found you service connected or they denied your service connection. Then they're going to have their reason for decision. This is where the gold is, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the gold is. Those of you veterans that have filed before and you've been denied for tinea versicolor, PFB, tinnitus, whatever you've been denied, this is where your gold is. In the reasoning for decision. So I want you right now, if you got your decision letter, I want you to go through that decision letter, skip the introduction, skip the decision. I want you to get right in that paragraph part where it says reason for decision. Now I'm going to get mine. I'm going to grab mine. Okay. Introduction. The records reflect that you are a veteran of Gulf War era. You served the Navy from September 16, 1991 to September 15, 1995. You filed an original disability claim. That means I've never filed before. Those of you that think I've been lying all this whole time, that I filed multiple times. I filed an original claim that was received on November 19th, 2019. Based on a review of the evidence listed below, we have made the following decision. That is the intro. This is the format that the VA is going to follow. Then, decision. Service connection for nasal fracture status post-laceration with residual nasal obstruction with deviated nasal septum is granted with the 10% effective November 27, 2018. So they went back to 2018 because I waited a full year. My intent to file was November 27, 2018. That's why I got the fat check. Okay, service connection for scar right maxilla status post laceration repair is granted with evaluation of 10%. So they gave me a 10% for nasal fracture. Then they gave me a 10% for scar. Service connection for sleep apnea is granted with evaluation of 50% effective November 27. So they're going through the decision right now. Let's skip all of that stuff and get right down to the evidence. Because that should be, I got this kind of mixed up, excuse me. Evidence goes here. Evidence goes number 3, I'm sorry. On your decision letter, evidence goes number 3. The evidence considered, and then this is reasons for evidence. Reasons for decision, I'm sorry. Reasons for decision. Okay. All right. The evidence, ladies and gentlemen, is going to talk about your 526 EZ application. your forms you use for filing, your outpatient records, all that stuff is considered evidence. So they're going to list that. So let's move right along to the gold. I talk about the gold. The gold is in reason for decision. Reasons for decision. Reason for decision. In the reason for decision, when you've been denied, under here, there's called favorable findings. Favorable findings, ladies and gentlemen. Favorable findings. Now, why do you think I said, with failure, it teaches you things? It's not the end of the world. People teach their kids not to fail, but sometimes failure is good, ladies and gentlemen, because when you fail, it tells you what you need to do to correct yourself. So let's talk about favorable findings. In one of mine, you have currently diagnosed medical condition via examination 19 that you have diagnosis of bilateral tinnitus. So they let me know that I had a diagnosis, which is element number 1 of tinnitus. We know we got 3 to meet. Diagnosis. Now this is a denial of my tinnitus. Number 2. Okay. It says a probability of noise exposure during active duty is shown. DD2 form 214 shows the military occupation specialist as avionics electronics. So probable noise exposure. So that meant the in-service event was met. So if you guys are looking at your decision letter, it's telling you about your elements of service connection. So I met element number 1 and element number 2. Can anybody tell me what element that I did not meet? What's the part of this criteria that I did not meet? Because this is an example of my tinnitus claim that was in my 11 disabilities that I filed for, but I did not get tinnitus service connected. Element number 3 was the medical nexus. I bet you're saying, God, the VA is very petty right now. You mean to tell me that they say you got a diagnosis and your noise exposure is probable, but you don't have a nexus? It's telling you, ladies and gentlemen, what you don't have. So how do you do this? If you just got this decision letter and you got 12 months to respond, what's the one thing you got to go get? A medical nexus. So you got to get an audiologist to go to. I bet y'all asking me, Juniors, why didn't you get an audiologist? I ran out of money. I told you guys I was homeless. I was selling CDs and DVDs and purses, everything I could to get the major stuff out the way. And tinnitus, believe it or not, only paid $140 some, and it was only 10% service connection. So I was willing to gamble on the big stuff versus the small stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I hope this video helped you guys understand the power of failure and how you can learn from failure and you can look at the opportunity and get prepared. Because if you want success, you got to log on to newlifeveterans.com. Give me a like, give me a comment at this video if you like what I'm saying. Log on to newlifeveterans.com. Let's get you a consultation. That is the first step of preparation. The opportunity is 70 to 100% a high value claim, but you got to get prepared. And if you're sitting there right now, have got favorable findings that you're looking at in your decision letters and you're ready to get prepared, the time is now is to act now. Take massive action. If you're ready to take massive action, log on today to newlifeveterans.com. I'll see you on a phone call and let's look at the opportunity. Talk to you soon. God bless.